What I've put in this video is some of the locations I use online for finding resources to use in renders. Perhaps the one I use the most is Polyhaven. They used to be called HDRI Haven, and my main use of them is for HDRIs. They do textures and models as well, but specifically for HDRIs they're good if you want, say, a particular, I don't know, indoor with natural light, and they're all free. You can download various resolutions. You shouldn't probably need more than 8K, but depends whether you're doing large format renders or whatever, but I generally download the 8K. I download them as HDR. Just click on download and the HDR file comes down, and that's immediately usable in DAS in your environment. You just point your environment browser at the HDR file and it'll load this up as a background. So nice and simple to use. The second site I use quite a bit is TurboSquid. They've been taken over by Shutterstock at some point, but they still retain a lot of the free models you might want to use. So, say for example I wanted to look for a deck chair. You get a number of models available, and tells you how many there are in each price range. So say I wanted a free model to download. That one looks reasonable. It generally tells you the 3D formats that they're available in, but if you click into them, it says free download. You click on download, it adds it to your basket, and as you can see I've used it a few times for bits and bobs, and you've got the different formats that it's available there. So for DAS I may download the OBJ and the MTL files. You'd probably want the maps if you wanted any texture maps with it. They don't all supply all these formats. I mean, for this one it was a surfboard and the zip file contained several formats and a texture. But so TurboSquid's good for getting your free items to put in your scenes. The third main website I use is called 3D Textures. It's 3dtextures.me. These are free to a certain extent. Certainly enough resolution to use the free versions on what I do. But imagine you have some clothing, you want some fabric. You get a list of fabrics, and there are quite a number of different fabrics. I mean, there's a nice blanket, there's a nice burlap throw, some perforated leather for your seating or whatever. But there's quite a few textures in here, and if you pick one, if I go back to fabric for example, because that's the one I use the most, if I pick, say, this fabric lace, click on that, there we go, opens up the fabric lace, and it tells you which maps you get with that. So I'll get a diffuse, a normal, a displacement, a roughness, ambient occlusion and opacity. Because I use DAS, diffuse is your base colour, you got your normal, your displacement is your bump map, that's your diffuse roughness, you don't need ambient occlusion, and there's your opacity map. So you get all of those. So download all the maps, and it'll take you to Google Drive. You just click on the name there and say download, and it'll zip all those maps together, prepares a download, and there it is. Download ready, and inside the zip file you have a folder, and there's all your maps you need. So those are my top 3 recommended websites with 3D resources. I'm not sponsored by any of them, so I don't get any money. I've put no affiliate links. I will include the links in this video in case you can't see them on my display, but hopefully that's of some use to you.